You've been told your entire life that suffering is something to avoid. You've been taught to numb it, run from it, and silence it. But what if I told you that suffering isn't your enemy? What if it's your greatest ally? Think about it. Every setback, every challenge, every painful moment you've experienced, those weren't meant to break you. They were meant to shape you. In the Stoic tradition, we embrace suffering not as a curse, but as a tool for transformation. Pain is the forge, and you're the raw material waiting to be molded. It's easy to wish for comfort, to dream of a life free from hardship. But the Stoics knew that true strength doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from leaning into it. The discomfort you fear? It's the very thing that can push you toward greatness. The next time you face hardship, instead of retreating, ask yourself, how can this shape me? If you're ready to stop running from pain and start using it to fuel your growth, then you're in the right place. Consider subscribing, because this journey is about evolving into a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Every step you take toward understanding and mastering life's challenges is a step toward a life of meaning. So join me in this quest for growth, wisdom, and strength. Let's turn suffering into something that works for us. You've been taught to fear pain, to avoid it at all costs. But pain isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It's not a punishment, it's a crafting tool. Each time you face hardship, you're not being crushed beneath it, you're being shaped by it. Think back to moments in your life when pain knocked on your door. Maybe it was a breakup, a failure, a loss of some kind. Did it break you? Or did it reveal parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed? Pain strips away everything that doesn't serve you. It burns off the excess, the softness, and it exposes what's left, your true self. This rawness, this vulnerability, is where your power lies. It's the core of who you are, waiting to be molded into something stronger, sharper, and more resilient. But here's the catch. How you respond to pain determines its impact on you. Do you let it defeat you, or do you let it forge you into someone unbreakable? The Stoics believed that hardship is not to be avoided, but embraced. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, the obstacles you face are not roadblocks, they are the path forward. Every painful moment you face is an opportunity to grow, to strengthen your character, and to sharpen your resolve. Pain is not here to destroy you, it's here to refine you. It's the hammer that shapes the steel. Without it, you would remain soft, malleable, and weak. But through pain, you are toughened, you are tempered, and that is where your power begins. Every wound you carry, whether physical or emotional, is a mark of survival. It's proof that you endured, that you overcame. And each scar, whether you like it or not, is a part of your story. You can choose to view them as reminders of weakness, or you can choose to see them as badges of honor. Each one tells the story of a battle fought, a lesson learned, a part of yourself that was forged in fire. That's what pain does. It molds you. The real question is whether you'll let it mold you into something stronger, or whether you'll allow it to break you. Seneca put it best when he said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." When you face hardship, you're not only testing your endurance, but also building your mental and emotional muscles. You are training yourself to handle adversity, to withstand whatever life throws at you. Just as a blacksmith shapes metal by hammering it in the heat, your pain sharpens you. It makes you more resilient, more capable, and ultimately, more powerful. Pain is not a force to be feared, it's a tool to be used. The more you resist it, the more it will control you. The more you embrace it, the more it will shape you into the person you were meant to become. But embracing pain doesn't mean seeking it out for its own sake. It means accepting it when it arrives, learning from it, and using it to fuel your growth. When you can do that, pain becomes your ally. It becomes the force that drives you forward, rather than the weight that drags you down. As much as you might wish for a life without pain, you should be careful what you wish for, because without it, you would never truly know yourself. You would never know your strength, your resilience, or your potential. Pain is the crucible in which you are refined, and it is through this refining process that you become your best self. So, the next time you face pain, don't shrink from it. Don't retreat into comfort or distraction. Face it head on. Welcome it. Let it shape you into something unbreakable. The steel is forged in the fire, and you are that steel. You are not defined by your suffering. You are defined by how you rise from it. The Stoics believed in the power of choice. You always have the choice to respond to pain in a way that either empowers you or diminishes you. So the next time life throws a curveball your way, remember that you are not being punished. You are being forged. What will you do with it? The choice is yours. Comfort is a lie. It promises safety, a sense of peace, and the illusion of control. We are constantly told to seek it, to build lives that are easy, predictable, and free from hardship. But what if the comfort we chase is the very thing that weakens us? Think about it. Every time you choose the easy way out, every time you settle for the warmth of your comfort zone, you are slowly giving up your strength. You might think you're protecting yourself, but in reality, you're only preserving a false sense of security. Comfort is the silent killer. It feels good in the moment, but it leaves you stagnant, incapable of moving forward. It's like sinking into quicksand, where the more you resist, the deeper you go. The danger isn't just in the world outside of you. The real danger is what happens inside when you avoid discomfort. Your potential starts to decay. Your growth begins to atrophy. We often believe that comfort is the ultimate goal, the place where we'll find peace and happiness. But the truth is that it only creates the illusion of contentment. It lulls you into a sense of complacency, a state where you stop challenging yourself, where you stop growing. The worst part is that you don't even realize it's happening. It's like being lulled to sleep in a beautiful, soft bed, until you wake up one day and realize that you've been lying still, motionless, for far too long. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality. When we seek comfort, we are avoiding the real challenges of life. We are convinced that if we can just avoid pain and discomfort, we'll be safe, happy, and fulfilled. But this is a lie. Pain, struggle, and discomfort are part of life's natural course, and they are necessary for growth. When you avoid them, you avoid becoming the person you are meant to be. You prevent the transformation that comes from overcoming adversity. Growth only happens when we push beyond the limits of our comfort. Just as a muscle only grows stronger when it is pushed to its limit, so too does our character grow stronger when we face and overcome discomfort. Every time you retreat into comfort, you surrender a piece of your power. You choose the easy path, but that path leads nowhere. It's the path of stagnation, of avoiding the challenges that would force you to stretch, to adapt, to become more than you were yesterday. Comfort makes you believe that happiness lies in the absence of struggle, but in reality, it lies in the mastery of struggle. It's about learning to face the storms, not waiting for them to pass. It's about finding the strength within you to stand firm, even when everything around you is shaking. We've all been there. The temptation to pull back when life gets tough, to find a soft place to land when things feel too hard. But what if, instead of running from difficulty, we leaned into it? What if we learned to embrace the discomfort, to see it as the catalyst for growth rather than the enemy? Every challenge, every painful moment can be a stepping stone. It can be the very thing that pushes us forward, forces us to evolve. The obstacle itself is not the problem. The problem is our refusal to engage with it, our instinct to avoid it, to retreat into the comfortable illusion that everything will be okay if we just stay still. Think about your own life for a moment. When was the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone? When did you last challenge yourself to do something difficult, something that scared you, something that pushed you to grow? It's easy to live in the illusion that comfort is where we belong. We're told from an early age to seek comfort, to protect ourselves from the harshness of life. But if you've lived long enough, you know that comfort doesn't last. The world doesn't stop because you're tired, because you're scared, or because you want to rest. Life moves forward, and so must you. The more you avoid discomfort, the more you avoid living a life that's truly meaningful. It's time to stop running. Stop looking for the quick fixes, the easy answers, the perfect escape. You don't need comfort, you need strength. The strength to face what's hard, the strength to confront your fears, your doubts, and your weaknesses. The strength to move through the discomfort, knowing that it will eventually pass, leaving you stronger on the other side. You can't grow in a cocoon of ease. You have to break free of it. You have to step into the arena, face the challenges head-on, and know that with each struggle, you are becoming something greater than you were before. There's a powerful realization that comes with accepting discomfort. It's not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It's through discomfort that we find our true potential. When you stop avoiding the hard things, when you stop waiting for the perfect moment, that's when you start to change. That's when you start to discover who you really are, what you're truly capable of. So let go of the illusion that comfort will make you happy. Let go of the belief that avoiding pain will keep you safe. The reality is that comfort will only make you weaker, more vulnerable, and more dependent on things outside yourself. It will rob you of the strength you have inside you, the power to face life as it is, not as you wish it would be. Stop seeking the warm embrace of comfort, and instead seek the power that comes from facing the cold, from stepping into the discomfort, from choosing to grow. The world won't stop to cater to your desire for safety and ease. It's time to rise to the challenge, to stop avoiding the discomfort of growth, and to start embracing it. You don't need to run from pain. You need to face it head-on. That's where the true power lies. And when you do, you'll realize that comfort was never the answer. The strength to transform your life has always been within you, waiting to be unleashed. Have you ever wondered why some people seem invincible while others crumble under pressure? Why some individuals face adversity with a calm, unshakable resolve, while others fall apart at the slightest inconvenience? The difference is simple. Those who thrive in the face of struggle have learned to embrace it. Struggle, pain, and hardship are not the enemies we've been taught to fear. They are the very forces that shape us into the people we are meant to become. When you learn to accept struggle rather than resist it, you tap into a power that comfort can never provide. Struggle is the fire that forges you, and only through this fire can you become unbreakable. The more you avoid it, the more you resist the challenges life throws your way, the more you limit your own potential. Life will never be free of difficulties. It doesn't matter how many walls you build, how many barriers you place between you and the world. Eventually, you'll face adversity. The question is, how will you respond? Will you run from it? Will you let it break you? Or will you step into the fire and use it to transform yourself? Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This is the essence of embracing struggle. You are not defined by the obstacles you face, nor by the pain you endure. You are defined by how you choose to respond to those challenges. Pain and hardship may shape you, but they do not have to destroy you. The struggle you face is not a reflection of your weakness. It is an invitation to grow stronger. Every time you face a hardship and refuse to give in, you are reinforcing your resilience. Every time you push through the discomfort, you are reinforcing your ability to thrive in any circumstance. It's easy to crave comfort. It's easy to look for the path of least resistance, to desire a life free from obstacles and struggle. But comfort doesn't build strength, it weakens it. When you avoid struggle, you avoid growth. The more you shield yourself from difficulty, the less prepared you are to face the real challenges of life. It's like building a house on a foundation of sand. It might look fine for a while, but it won't withstand the storms. On the other hand, when you build your foundation on the solid ground of struggle and perseverance, you prepare yourself for anything. Consider the athletes who push their bodies beyond the limit, the entrepreneurs who face countless failures before finding success, the artists who pour their heart and soul into their craft despite constant rejection. These individuals don't shy away from struggle, they embrace it. They understand that every challenge they face is an opportunity to grow, to improve, to evolve. They know that the strength they gain from pushing through adversity will serve them far more than any easy win ever could. Struggle molds you in ways that comfort simply cannot. When you're comfortable, there's no need to grow. You're stuck in your ways, relying on the same routines and habits that keep you in a place of safety. But when you face a challenge, when you step outside your comfort zone, that's when you change. That's when you learn new things about yourself, when you discover strengths you didn't know you had, when you're forced to stretch and expand in ways that were once unimaginable. It's important to recognize that growth doesn't happen in the absence of struggle. It happens because of it. When you step into the fire, you don't just survive, you become forged by it. Struggle teaches you how to rise, how to become more than you were yesterday, and how to build a resilience that makes you unbreakable. Every time you face difficulty and push through, you become harder, sharper, stronger. You build a foundation of strength that no one can take away. But this isn't just about physical strength. It's about emotional and mental strength too. Life has a way of testing us. Whether it's through personal loss, financial hardship, or relationship struggles, there will always be something that challenges us, that forces us to question our limits. But every time you rise to meet those challenges, you strengthen your emotional and mental resilience. You learn to trust yourself, to rely on your own inner strength, to believe that you can overcome anything that comes your way. In the end, you're not here to remain soft, to stay in your safe zone. You're not here to avoid difficulty, to hide from the storms of life. You're here to rise. You're here to thrive through the struggle. You're here to become the kind of person who isn't afraid of adversity, but who welcomes it as a challenge, an opportunity to grow stronger. Remember that your journey is not about avoiding the tough times. It's about stepping into them, embracing them, and using them to fuel your transformation. The more you face struggle, the more you build the strength to rise above it. And the stronger you become, the more unbreakable you'll be. The real power lies in how you handle the challenges you face. Every time you choose to embrace struggle instead of avoiding it, you become more resilient, more capable, and more powerful. So, the next time life throws a challenge your way, don't shy away from it. Step into it. Use it. Let it shape you into the person you are meant to be. As you continue on your journey, remember that your struggles are not here to break you. They are here to make you stronger, sharper, and unshakable. Embrace them. Let them transform you. Because when you rise through the fire, you become something no one can break. You become unbreakable. The world is not fair. It's a hard truth, but one that can change your life if you accept it. We've all been sold this fantasy, this idea that life will give us what we deserve, that if we work hard enough, we'll get our rewards, that if we are kind, kind things will happen to us. But the reality is far more complex and, unfortunately, far less generous. Life doesn't operate on a system of fairness or justice. It's not designed to give you what you think you deserve. It's designed to test you, challenge you, and sometimes just leave you to figure it out on your own. The sooner you let go of the belief that the world owes you something, the sooner you can start living on your own terms, free from the false expectations that bind you. This fantasy of fairness traps us in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. We wait for life to deliver what we feel entitled to. We wait for people to be fair, for circumstances to align, and for rewards to come in due time. But life doesn't care about your plans or your expectations. When you're waiting for fairness, you're only giving away your power. You're surrendering your ability to control how you respond to what's happening around you. Life will never be fair, and when you come to terms with that, you stop expecting things to be handed to you. You stop waiting for someone or something to deliver the outcomes you think you deserve. And that's when the real change begins. We create these ideas in our minds about what we deserve, about how things should be. But these ideas are often illusions, fantasies that keep us trapped in disappointment when life doesn't deliver what we expect. When we detach from the expectation of fairness, we free ourselves from the suffering that comes with constantly comparing reality to an imagined version of what we think we're owed. It's in that freedom, in letting go of the fantasy, that we can finally embrace the world as it truly is. Instead of seeking fairness, embrace the harshness of reality. The world is chaotic, unpredictable, and often cruel. But within that chaos, there is opportunity. The raw material for creating a life of meaning and purpose is found in the very challenges you face. When you stop waiting for life to be kind, when you stop looking for fairness, you begin to see that the struggles you face aren't obstacles, they're stepping stones. The difficulties you endure aren't punishments, they're the tools that shape you into someone who can navigate the real world, unshaken and unbroken. You can't build strength on a foundation of comfort or fairness. You can't grow without resistance. The truth is, the world owes you nothing, and when you realize that, you stop waiting and start creating. You begin to see the struggles, the failures, and the setbacks as part of the process. They are not signs that the world is against you. They are signs that you're on the right path. It's only when you accept the harshness of reality that you can start to forge your own way, to build a life on your own terms. The false belief in fairness keeps you waiting for the world to change, but the reality is that the world is never going to meet you halfway. The sooner you stop expecting it to, the sooner you can start taking control of your own life. Embrace the challenge, embrace the discomfort, and embrace the truth that life is what you make of it, not what it owes you. In that space, free from the expectations of fairness, you will discover a new sense of agency, of power over your own destiny. Imagine for a moment that everything in your life, good and bad, was happening exactly as it should. What if you stopped resisting the things you can't control? What if you stopped waiting for the world to be fair, and instead focused on what you can do with the circumstances you've been given? This shift in mindset is where true power lies. It's not in waiting for things to align perfectly or for life to be kind. It's in taking whatever life gives you, accepting the reality of the moment, and using it to create something meaningful. In embracing reality as it is, you come to see that the challenges, the unfairness, the struggles, they are your greatest allies. They are the things that shape you, that test you, that push you to grow. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Life may not be fair, but your response to it, your ability to choose how you react, is what defines your experience. The sooner you let go of the fantasy that life should be fair, the sooner you can focus on what truly matters: how you live, how you act, and how you rise above the circumstances you face. When you detach from the fantasy of fairness, you stop living in a world of what should be and start living in a world of what is. And in that space, you find the power to create your own path, to build your own life, and to turn every hardship into a stepping stone toward the life you want. The harshness of reality is not a curse, it's a gift. It's the opportunity to build a life that is truly yours, not one that is shaped by the whims of fairness or chance. It's the raw material for your own creation, and when you stop expecting life to be fair, you become the architect of your own future. So, let go of the fantasy that the world owes you anything. Stop waiting for fairness. Instead, embrace the reality of what is and use it as fuel to build the life you desire. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. And in that response lies your power, your growth, and your ability to create a life that's truly yours. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to make the most of every challenge, every struggle, and every moment. Only then will you find the strength to rise above the chaos and create something lasting, something meaningful. Think about the times you've been rejected. Maybe it was a job you didn't get, a relationship that ended, or a goal that slipped through your fingers. At first, rejection feels like a wound, doesn't it? A sharp blow to the ego, an immediate reminder that things didn't go as planned. It's painful. It stings. But what if I told you that rejection isn't a curse? What if it's actually a gift? A gift wrapped in discomfort and frustration, but a gift nonetheless. Because in reality, rejection isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's a signal that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, that you're pushing boundaries, and that you're daring to try for something greater than where you are right now. Rejection strips away the illusions we cling to. It's easy to believe we deserve things, that we are entitled to success, to love, to validation. Rejection, however, shakes us out of that delusion. It exposes our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities, and forces us to confront the truth about who we are and where we stand. It might hurt, but that hurt is necessary. It's like the moment when a sculptor chips away at a block of marble to reveal the shape hidden within. Rejection does the same for you. It chips away at your ego, leaving only what is real, what is necessary for your growth. Without it, we live in a false sense of security, unaware of the gaps that need filling, the lessons that need learning. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Rejection is an essential part of that process. Without it, you may never truly know yourself. It's easy to assume you know what you're capable of, to think you have it all figured out. But rejection forces you to reassess, to examine your motivations, your desires, and your limitations. It forces you to dig deeper and ask, why didn't this work? What can I learn from this? What does this rejection teach me about who I am becoming? It's uncomfortable to face the reality that not everything will come easily, that some doors will remain closed, no matter how hard you knock. But that discomfort is what sharpens you. Just as a knife becomes sharper after repeated honing, you too become stronger, wiser, and more resilient after each rejection. It teaches you to push forward, even when it seems easier to stop. It teaches you perseverance, humility, and the importance of self-reflection. Think about how much you've learned from your past rejections. At the time, it might have felt like a setback, but with time, you probably see it as a turning point. It was the moment you learned something about your true desires, about your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe it redirected you onto a better path, or maybe it taught you a lesson in resilience. In that sense, rejection isn't just something that happens to you. It's something that happens for you. It forces you to evolve, to adapt, and to refine your approach. The problem is, most of us have been conditioned to avoid rejection at all costs. We've been taught to seek validation, to strive for approval, and to be afraid of failure. But in doing so, we miss out on one of the most powerful tools for growth: the ability to embrace rejection and use it to fuel our improvement. When you resist rejection, when you avoid the lessons it has to offer, you're robbing yourself of the opportunity to become the best version of yourself. But when you embrace rejection, you unlock a new level of self-awareness. You stop chasing external validation and start looking inward. You realize that your worth isn't defined by someone else's approval. Rejection becomes less about what others think of you and more about what you can learn from the experience. It shifts the focus from external success to internal growth. Instead of seeing rejection as a defeat, you begin to see it as an opportunity, a moment that tests your character, your determination, and your ability to bounce back. Each rejection carries with it the potential for something better. It's like being in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain beats down, and everything feels out of control. But once the storm clears, the world is different. It's fresher, cleaner, and more vibrant. Rejection is like that storm. It challenges you, it tests your limits, but once you face it and move through it, you emerge stronger, clearer, and more focused. The reality is, you will face rejection many times in your life. No matter how successful you become, no matter how much you achieve, there will always be moments of failure, setbacks, and rejection. But each time it happens, you have a choice. You can either let it crush you, or you can choose to rise above it. You can choose to learn from it, to let it sharpen you, and to turn it into a stepping stone toward greater success. Rejection doesn't define you, it refines you. It strips away what isn't necessary, revealing your true self and your true potential. Instead of fearing it, you should welcome it. You should embrace it as a powerful tool for growth and self-discovery. It's not the rejection that matters, it's how you respond to it that determines your success. Every time you face rejection, remind yourself that this is just another step in your journey. It's not the end, it's the beginning of something new. It's a chance to reassess, to improve, and to come back stronger. Embrace rejection for what it is, a necessary part of the process of becoming who you truly are. When you do, you'll find that the very things you feared most, the rejection, the failure, the setbacks, become the very forces that propel you forward into greatness. Loneliness often feels like a curse. It's a feeling we try to avoid, something we perceive as a flaw in our lives. We live in a world that constantly pushes for connection, for external validation, and for the assurance that we are loved, wanted, and seen by others. We fear solitude because it forces us to confront ourselves without the distractions of external noise. But what if I told you that solitude isn't your weakness, it's your strength? What if you could learn to see loneliness not as something to escape, but as an opportunity for growth, introspection, and clarity? In the stillness of solitude, you find yourself. It's in those quiet moments, free from the opinions and expectations of others, that you can hear your own voice. The world is constantly bombarding us with demands, distractions, and the expectations of what we should be or do. But when you embrace solitude, you create space for clarity. It's like clearing a foggy window to finally see the world as it truly is. You begin to hear your inner voice, the voice that gets drowned out by the noise of everyday life. You stop asking for permission and start trusting yourself. You stop seeking answers outside of yourself and realize they've been within you all along. Carl Jung understood the importance of self-reflection and solitude. He said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that are important to you." When you're constantly surrounded by others, constantly seeking approval or validation, it becomes easy to lose sight of your true self. You become a reflection of the people around you rather than a reflection of who you truly are. Solitude gives you the space to rediscover your own purpose, to reclaim your own identity. It's in those moments of isolation that you come to understand who you really are, what you truly want, and what you're truly capable of. It's easy to be distracted by the outside world, to get caught up in the hustle, the noise, and the constant need for external validation. But in solitude, you strip away those distractions. You don't need others to tell you who you are or what you should be doing. You are your own source of power. You don't have to chase approval. You don't need the constant reassurance that you're on the right path. When you are comfortable with solitude, you become your own anchor. You find the strength to stand firm, even when the world around you is chaotic. You become self-sufficient, relying on your own inner resources rather than depending on others for emotional support or validation. This doesn't mean that we should live in complete isolation, disconnected from the world. Human connection is important, but there is a unique strength that comes from being able to stand alone, to be at peace with your own thoughts, and to be comfortable in your own company. When you can find strength in solitude, you no longer fear being alone. You understand that in isolation there is growth. It's in those moments of solitude that we face ourselves, our flaws, our fears, our weaknesses, and choose to confront them. Solitude gives you the power to reflect without distraction, to question your beliefs, and to discover your true desires. When you are constantly surrounded by people, by opinions, and by societal expectations, it's easy to lose sight of your own path. You may find yourself chasing goals that aren't even yours, living a life that others have defined for you. But when you embrace solitude, you begin to define your own life. You begin to set your own goals, based on your own values and desires, not on the expectations of others. This is where the real power lies. It's not in fitting in or following the crowd. It's in standing apart, in finding your own direction, and in having the courage to walk it alone. When you are able to be alone without feeling lonely, when you are able to be comfortable in your own skin, you unlock a strength that no one can take from you. You no longer depend on others for validation. You no longer need external factors to tell you that you're on the right path. You have the clarity to know for yourself. There's something deeply transformative about being alone with your thoughts. It forces you to confront who you really are, not who you pretend to be for others. It's easy to wear masks and play roles when you're constantly surrounded by people. But in solitude, the masks come off. You see yourself clearly without the filters. This can be uncomfortable at first, but it's also where the real growth happens. You learn to accept yourself, flaws and all, and from that acceptance comes strength. When you embrace solitude, you also learn the art of self-reliance. You stop waiting for others to give you the answers, to tell you who you should be, or to support you in every decision. You learn to trust yourself, your instincts, and your own abilities. You become your own source of strength, and this is where true confidence is born. Confidence isn't something that comes from the approval of others. It's something that comes from within. It's the quiet knowledge that you are enough, just as you are, and that you have everything within you to handle whatever comes your way. In solitude, you also find the space to reflect on your purpose. We often get so caught up in the busyness of life that we forget to ask ourselves why we do what we do. We chase after success, approval, and external validation without ever really stopping to think about what we want. Solitude forces us to slow down, to look inward, and to ask the big questions. What do I want from life? What are my values? What am I passionate about? When you make time for solitude, you give yourself the opportunity to rediscover your purpose, to reconnect with what truly matters to you, and to let go of everything that doesn't align with that purpose. The power of solitude lies in its ability to strip away everything that isn't essential, leaving only what is true and real. It forces you to confront your fears, your doubts, and your weaknesses, but it also gives you the opportunity to build strength, clarity, and self-reliance. When you are no longer dependent on others for validation, when you no longer need external approval to feel worthy, you become free. You are free to live life on your own terms, to pursue your goals without fear, and to embrace the person you are becoming. Solitude is not a curse, it is a gift. It is a chance to rediscover who you truly are and to connect with your inner strength. It is a space for clarity, growth, and self-discovery. So, embrace it. Learn to be comfortable in your own company. Find power in being alone and use that power to shape the life you want. Because in the end, the strength you find in solitude will be the foundation for everything else you achieve in life. Every failure you face holds a lesson, every heartbreak, a truth about who you are and who you could become. Pain doesn't need to be feared, it needs to be understood. It's easy to look at pain as something to avoid, something that takes away from our lives, something that we wish would go away. But what if I told you that pain is not your enemy? What if it's the one thing that can shape you into someone stronger, more resilient, and more in tune with your true self? When we experience pain, whether it's the sting of failure, the ache of loss, or the burden of struggle, it's easy to think that it's just a sign of weakness, or worse, that we're broken. But in reality, pain is not a punishment. It's a teacher. Each painful experience brings with it an opportunity to grow. Pain is not just a passing inconvenience, it's the fire in which your character is forged. Think back to the most painful moments in your life. What did you learn from them? What truths did they reveal? Every heartbreak, every failure, and every loss is a step in your journey. Carl Jung once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." That's the essence of pain as a teacher. It's in the wounds that we find the greatest potential for growth. Pain forces us to confront our limitations, our fears, and our weaknesses. And in doing so, it offers us the chance to transcend them. When you look back on your struggles, do you see them as moments of defeat, or as moments that made you stronger? It's easy to feel defeated when things don't go the way we expect. But if you shift your perspective and view each failure, each setback, each painful experience as a valuable lesson, you'll start to see them as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Pain reveals what needs to change, what needs to be healed, and what needs to be strengthened. It doesn't just break you, it builds you. Pain teaches us about our limits, but it also teaches us about our potential. Every time you go through a tough experience, you discover new things about yourself. You learn what you're capable of when the odds are stacked against you. You learn that your resilience is not just an abstract concept. It's something you've built, bit by bit, through every difficult moment. It's easy to think that we're limited by our circumstances, but pain shows us that we are capable of so much more than we often realize. Pain is also a mirror. It reflects the things we may not want to see in ourselves. It forces us to acknowledge our weaknesses, our fears, and our unresolved issues. It strips away the comfort of denial and exposes the truth. But this is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. When we allow ourselves to face the pain and understand what it's teaching us, we begin to grow in ways that comfort could never offer. It's in the pain that we find the motivation to change, the strength to move forward, and the wisdom to avoid making the same mistakes. Every scar you carry is a reminder of how far you've come. It's a sign that you've survived, that you've endured, and that you've overcome. These scars are not marks of failure. They are badges of honor. They are the symbols of your strength, your growth, and your resilience. The more scars you collect, the more you learn about yourself, about your limits, and about your potential. Instead of hiding from your scars, embrace them. Each one is a testament to your ability to face life head-on and come out the other side stronger. Each new challenge is simply another opportunity to grow. We often approach challenges with fear or dread, thinking of them as obstacles that stand in the way of our happiness. But challenges are not roadblocks. They are opportunities for transformation. They are the moments that push us beyond our comfort zones, that force us to rise to the occasion, and that test our limits. When you face a new challenge, don't see it as a threat. See it as a gift. It's a chance to refine your skills, to strengthen your character, and to become more of the person you are capable of becoming. It's important to realize that pain doesn't last forever. It may feel like it does in the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, pain is temporary. What remains long after the pain has passed is the growth, the lessons learned, and the person you've become. When you face pain with an open heart, when you allow it to teach you rather than break you, it becomes a catalyst for change. It becomes the fuel that drives you toward a better version of yourself. The truth is, we don't grow in comfort. We grow in discomfort. We grow in the moments when we're pushed to our limits, when we're forced to confront our deepest fears, and when we have no choice but to rise. It's easy to think that growth should be easy, that it should come without struggle. But the reality is that growth requires discomfort. It requires pain. It requires us to face the hard truths about ourselves and about the world around us. And while that may be difficult in the moment, it's only through this process that we become the people we are meant to be. So, the next time you face pain, don't run from it. Don't try to numb it or avoid it. Embrace it. Ask yourself, what is this pain teaching me? What can I learn from this experience? How can this pain help me grow? Each time you ask these questions, you move one step closer to understanding your true potential. You begin to realize that pain is not something to fear, but something to understand, something to use as a tool for growth. The pain you experience today will shape the person you become tomorrow. Pain, in all its forms, is a powerful teacher. It may not be comfortable, but it's necessary. It's the hammer that shapes the stone, the fire that forges the sword. Without pain, there is no growth. Without hardship, there is no strength. So, embrace the lessons that pain has to offer. Let it teach you. Let it sharpen you. And when you come out on the other side, you will be stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. Safety is an illusion. We've all heard it before. The idea that if you stay in your comfort zone, if you keep your head down, everything will be okay. The belief that avoiding risk will protect you from failure, hurt, and disappointment. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? The promise that if you don't rock the boat, you won't drown. But the truth is, this illusion of safety is one of the most dangerous things you can believe in. It keeps you stagnant, keeps you small, and keeps you from realizing your true potential. Because the world doesn't reward those who play it safe. It rewards those who venture into the unknown, who are willing to face fear and discomfort head-on. If you're not willing to step into the fire, you'll never discover the strength that lies within you. When we stay in our comfort zones, we are choosing the path of least resistance, the easy way out. It might feel secure, but in reality, it only leads to a life of mediocrity. You're not growing, You're not pushing your limits, and you're certainly not becoming the person you were meant to be. Safety keeps you confined to what you already know, to the familiar patterns that give you a false sense of control. But life doesn't operate in the realm of comfort. The world is unpredictable, chaotic, and constantly shifting. So why would you limit yourself to a bubble that protects you from everything uncomfortable? Carl Jung once said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." This statement captures the essence of what it means to break free from the illusion of safety. It's easy to talk about growth, to dream of success, to wish for a life of adventure and purpose. But without action, those dreams remain just that, dreams. The real challenge lies in facing discomfort, in stepping into the unknown, and in taking the risks that push you closer to the life you've always wanted. The truth is, safety doesn't keep you protected. It keeps you small. It keeps you confined to a version of yourself that is safe but unfulfilled. When you constantly seek comfort, you're avoiding the very experiences that shape you. Discomfort is where transformation happens. It's the fire that refines you, the pressure that turns coal into diamonds. Only by stepping into the discomfort of life can you unlock the strength, resilience, and growth you're truly capable of. But here's the thing: no one becomes great by playing it safe. Comfort zones don't breed greatness. They breed complacency. It's when you choose to step outside of what feels safe that you find the power to change, to evolve, and to reach new heights. The fear of discomfort is natural. We all want to avoid pain, failure, and the unknown. But what if instead of avoiding those things, you welcomed them? What if you understood that each challenge, each moment of fear, and each uncomfortable situation was a step forward? That's where the real growth happens. You can't grow in comfort. You can't become a stronger person by avoiding the things that challenge you. Strength isn't built by avoiding discomfort. It's built by embracing it, by learning to thrive in the face of adversity. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you stretch your capacity to handle life's challenges. You build the resilience necessary to face even greater challenges down the road. Do you want to be safe, or do you want to be powerful? The choice is yours. Safety keeps you stuck in the same place, living a life that's predictable, comfortable, and ultimately unfulfilling. Power, on the other hand, comes from venturing into the unknown, from pushing yourself to your limits, and from facing the discomfort of change head-on. Power is born in uncertainty. It is forged in the fire of struggle and discomfort. So, when you're faced with the decision to stay in your safe little bubble or step out into the unknown, remember that true power lies on the other side of discomfort. Comfort doesn't make you stronger, it makes you weaker. It gives you a false sense of security that keeps you stuck in a cycle of stagnation. When you refuse to challenge yourself, when you avoid the discomfort of growth, you rob yourself of the opportunity to discover what you're truly capable of. The discomfort you fear is the very thing that will help you evolve, that will push you to become a better version of yourself. Every time you face something that makes you uncomfortable, you grow. Every time you push through fear, you build more strength. And every time you choose discomfort over safety, you create a new version of yourself, one that's stronger, more resilient, and more capable than you ever thought possible. Stepping outside of your comfort zone isn't just about taking risks, it's about reclaiming your power. It's about refusing to be held back by the illusion that safety is the key to happiness. Safety is a lie. It tells you that the easy path is the right path, that avoiding challenges is the way to peace. But peace doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from learning to face discomfort with courage and strength. When you choose the hard path, the one that challenges you, the one that pushes you to your limits, You become more than you were before. You evolve. You grow. You become powerful. The more you resist the pull of comfort, the stronger you'll become. Every time you step into fear, every time you face discomfort, you build a new muscle, a muscle of resilience, of courage, and of inner strength. You stop relying on external circumstances to define your happiness or sense of security. Instead, you start to define your own strength. You become the one who shapes your destiny, who chooses to rise in the face of adversity, and who builds a life of meaning and power. So, the next time you're faced with the choice to stay in your comfort zone or to venture into the unknown, remember this: safety is an illusion, but discomfort is your ally. Embrace it. Step into it, because that's where you'll find your true power. And when you do, you'll realize that the discomfort you once feared was the very thing that allowed you to become the strongest version of yourself. Power isn't in safety. Power is in stepping beyond it. Emotions are powerful forces. They shape our thoughts, our actions, and even our perception of reality. At their best, they inspire us, connect us, and drive us toward our goals. At their worst, they can overwhelm us, cloud our judgment, and control our lives. The problem is, most of us let our emotions control us. We react impulsively, letting anger, fear, and doubt dictate our behavior, rather than using those emotions as tools for growth. But what if you could flip the script? What if you could take the raw energy of your emotions and transform it into something that drives you forward? The key isn't to suppress your emotions. It's to control them, to use them as weapons that fuel your growth, rather than hinder it. The first step is to understand that emotions are not inherently good or bad. They are simply energy, raw and unfiltered. It's what we do with that energy that matters. Anger, for example, is often seen as something destructive. It's easy to lose yourself in it, to lash out and make decisions you regret. But anger, when channeled properly, can be a powerful motivator. It can fuel your ambition, giving you the drive to push through obstacles and fight for what you believe in. Seneca once said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." But when you learn to control anger, to transform it into a force that drives you toward your goals, it becomes a weapon of immense power. Fear is another emotion that often gets in the way. It paralyzes us, makes us hesitant, and prevents us from taking the risks necessary for growth. But what if you stopped fearing fear itself? What if you could use fear to sharpen your focus, to heighten your awareness, and to propel you into action? When you face your fears head-on, when you don't allow them to control you, they lose their power. Fear becomes a tool, a signal that you are on the edge of something important, something life-changing. Carl Jung famously said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." Fear doesn't exist to hold you back. It exists to show you where you need to go. It's your mind's way of telling you that you're on the verge of growth, that the next step is the one you've been avoiding. Use that fear to fuel your focus, to push you past your comfort zone, and to build the courage you need to move forward. Doubt is another emotion that can stop you in your tracks. It's a silent killer, a quiet voice that whispers that you're not good enough, that you're not capable. But doubt, like all emotions, can be harnessed. Instead of letting it undermine your confidence, let it challenge you. Let doubt drive you to prove yourself wrong. Every moment of doubt is an opportunity to test your limits, to push through your insecurities, and to emerge stronger on the other side. Doubt becomes your ally when you choose to confront it, to use it as a reminder that growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. The key to turning your emotions into weapons lies in control. Emotions are not to be feared, and they are certainly not to be ignored. Suppressing your emotions only gives them more power over you. But when you acknowledge them, understand them, and use them to fuel your actions, they lose their grip on you. You gain the ability to move through life with intention, to act in alignment with your goals, rather than being driven by the whims of your emotions. When you control your emotions, you control your life. You become the one who decides how to react, how to move forward, and what to do with the emotional energy that comes your way. It's important to remember that controlling your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It doesn't mean pretending that anger, fear, or doubt don't exist. It means acknowledging them, understanding them, and choosing to use them to propel you forward. You don't need to act on every emotion you feel. In fact, true strength lies in the ability to step back and choose a response, rather than simply reacting impulsively. Emotions are like fire. They can either burn everything in their path, or they can be contained and used to warm you. When you learn to control them, you harness their power, and they become a tool for your growth. You've probably experienced moments when your emotions got the best of you. Maybe you said something you didn't mean in a fit of anger, or maybe fear kept you from taking an important risk. But imagine if, in those moments, you had been able to control your emotions, to pause and respond rather than react. Think of how different things might have been. That's the power of emotional control. It's not about suppressing your feelings. It's about understanding them and using them strategically. Instead of letting them control your actions, you take control of your emotions, directing them toward your goals and desires. When you control your emotions, you stop being at the mercy of your impulses. Instead, you become the one who decides how to react, how to move forward, and how to navigate life's challenges. Your emotions no longer dictate your behavior. You do. This kind of self-mastery is a cornerstone of personal growth. It allows you to face adversity with calm, to make decisions with clarity, and to move through life with purpose. It's the difference between being a slave to your emotions and being their master. So the next time you feel anger rising, or fear creeping in, or doubt clouding your mind, don't let them take the wheel. Use them as fuel. Let your anger drive you toward your goals. Let your fear sharpen your focus, and let your doubt challenge you to prove yourself. When you control your emotions, you turn them into weapons. And when you turn your emotions into weapons, you become unstoppable. The power to shape your life is in your hands. Don't let your emotions control you. Harness them and use them to create the life you desire. Discipline doesn't come from comfort, it comes from pain. It's easy to think that discipline is something you can simply will into existence, that if you work hard enough, you'll develop the strength to stay focused, to keep going, to get things done. But the truth is, true discipline is built through struggle, through pushing yourself past the limits of what's easy. Every time you face discomfort, every time you step outside your comfort zone and keep going, you're creating the foundation for real, lasting discipline. The moments when you're tired, when you want to quit, when everything inside of you is screaming for a break, those are the moments that shape your discipline. It's in those times when you push through the pain that you build the strength to stay committed, to stay focused, and to keep moving forward no matter what. Think about the times you've succeeded, really succeeded, not just gotten through something. The victories that mean the most aren't the ones that came easily. They're the ones where you had to fight, where you had to endure hardship, and where you had to dig deep inside yourself to find the strength to push past the obstacles in your way. Those are the victories that build discipline, because discipline isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary, even when it's hard. Every time you choose to keep going, even when everything else tells you to stop, you're not just building discipline, you're transforming yourself. You're proving to yourself that you are stronger than you think, that you are capable of more than you imagined. The more you endure, the more you grow, And with each challenge, your discipline becomes stronger and more refined. In every moment of pain, you have a choice. You can either let it break you, or you can use it to transform yourself into someone stronger. It's not the circumstances that define us. It's how we respond to those circumstances that shapes our character. When you face difficulty, you have the opportunity to either surrender or rise. And discipline is the tool that allows you to rise. It's the ability to choose the hard road, the road less traveled, the road that leads to growth. It's not about avoiding discomfort, it's about using discomfort as fuel for your journey. The more you choose to face discomfort head-on, the stronger your discipline becomes. And the stronger your discipline becomes, the more power you have over your life. Discipline is not a trait you're born with, it's a skill you develop. It's the result of repeatedly choosing what's hard over what's easy, of choosing focus over distraction, of choosing to show up even when you don't feel like it. It's in the daily practice of pushing yourself, of making the hard choices, that you build discipline. It's a slow process, one that takes time and patience, but it's one that pays off in ways you can't even imagine at the start. Discipline doesn't happen overnight. It's forged in the furnace of suffering, in the moments when you think you can't go on, but you do anyway. It's in those moments that you prove to yourself that you have what it takes to succeed. And with each small victory, your discipline grows stronger, your resolve becomes firmer, and you inch closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. You see, it's the suffering that makes discipline so powerful. It's the fact that discipline doesn't come from ease, from comfort, from everything going your way. It comes from enduring hardship, from pushing past the moments when you want to give up. Every time you choose to keep going, every time you make the decision to focus on the task at hand, rather than give in to distractions, you are strengthening your will, your resolve, and your ability to stay disciplined in the face of adversity. Pain and struggle are the raw materials that discipline is made of. Without them, there would be no growth, no strength, no transformation. It's the fire of challenge and hardship that forges discipline into a powerful force that you can use to shape your life. Every time you push through the pain, you are becoming something more. You are transforming your weaknesses into strengths, your doubts into confidence, and your discomfort into power. Discipline isn't just about doing the right thing. It's about doing it consistently, even when it's hard. It's about taking small actions every day, even when you don't see the immediate results, knowing that those actions will add up over time. Discipline is the ability to trust the process, to know that each moment of discomfort is an investment in your future self. And with each step you take, no matter how small, you are building the life you want to create. It's easy to avoid discomfort. We live in a world where the path of least resistance is often the most tempting. But comfort doesn't build character, and it doesn't build discipline. It's only through pushing yourself beyond your limits, through facing the pain and embracing the struggle, that you begin to develop the discipline necessary to achieve your goals. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. And the more you practice it, the more you make it a part of who you are, the more you'll see that anything is possible. You may not see the results right away, but every choice you make to stay disciplined is an investment in your future. It's easy to look at the person who seems to have it all together and think they have some innate gift, some secret formula that you don't. But the truth is, they've simply learned to endure. They've chosen to face the discomfort, the setbacks and the failures, and to use them as fuel. And that's what you can do too. Every time you feel like giving up, remember that it's in those moments of pain that your discipline is being forged. It's in those moments that you are becoming something greater, something stronger, something unstoppable. Discipline is born from pain. It's not something that comes easily. and it's not something that happens overnight. But if you keep pushing through the discomfort, if you keep making the hard choices, you will build a strength that nothing can shake. You will create the life you desire, one small, disciplined step at a time. Embrace the discomfort, embrace the struggle, and know that each moment of pain is an opportunity to grow, to build, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Because in the end, it's the furnace of suffering that forges the strongest steel, and the discipline you build through your struggles is the weapon that will carry you to success. Perfection is a trap. It's a fantasy we're sold, a goal that seems noble, but in reality, it's a path that leads nowhere. We've all been there, chasing that elusive idea of perfection, thinking that once we reach it, everything will fall into place. But what if perfection doesn't exist? What if the pursuit of it is just keeping you stuck, constantly striving for something that isn't attainable and missing out on what really matters? The truth is, perfection is an illusion, and the sooner you let go of the need to be perfect, the sooner you can start making real progress in your life. The pursuit of perfection isn't about achieving something flawless. It's about being willing to accept the messy, imperfect journey of growth. Think about the moments when you've felt the most accomplished, the most proud of yourself. I guarantee that those moments didn't come when everything was perfect. They came when you were willing to take risks, to try, to fail, and to keep going. Progress doesn't happen in a straight line. It's not a neat, perfectly packaged path from point A to point B. The journey of improvement is messy, filled with setbacks, failures, and moments where you feel like you're not getting anywhere. But that's where the magic happens. It's in the mess, the struggle, and the discomfort that true growth occurs. Every mistake, every step backward, is a lesson that brings you closer to where you want to be. You learn more from the struggle than from any easy success. The challenges, the missteps, the failures, they're the lessons you need to become the person you're striving to be. Perfection is a barrier to that. When you focus on being perfect, you're limiting yourself to a narrow, unrealistic standard. You're measuring yourself against an impossible ideal rather than allowing yourself the freedom to grow, to make mistakes, and to learn along the way. Perfection doesn't allow room for authenticity. It forces you to hide the parts of yourself that are messy, imperfect, and human. But true growth happens when you embrace those parts of yourself, the flaws, the mistakes, and the imperfections. When you let go of perfection, you start to become who you truly are. You start to embrace the journey of self-discovery rather than chasing an illusion of what you think you should be. So why do we chase perfection in the first place? It's because we're afraid of failure, of looking bad, of not measuring up. We think that perfection will protect us from judgment, from criticism, and from rejection. But the truth is, perfection only makes us more vulnerable. When you strive for perfection, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. No matter how close you get to your ideal, you'll always find something else to perfect, something else to fix. And in the process, you'll miss out on the beauty of the journey, the growth, the learning, and the discovery that comes with embracing the imperfect moments. Perfection keeps us stuck in a cycle of comparison. We look around at others and see their successes, their polished lives, their seemingly perfect outcomes, and we think we have to match them. But everyone is on their own unique path, and the only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. The real measure of progress is not how close you are to someone else's ideal, but how far you've come in your own journey. When you focus on progress rather than perfection, you shift the focus from external validation to internal growth. You stop looking for approval and start looking for the lessons, the experiences, and the growth that come from every step you take. The journey toward improvement is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be real. It's meant to be messy, filled with detours and bumps along the way. There is no one-size-fits-all blueprint for success, no magical formula for reaching the top without facing challenges. The most successful people are the ones who have learned to embrace the mess, to keep moving forward even when things don't go according to plan. They understand that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a part of it. The road to success is paved with failures, setbacks, and mistakes, but instead of seeing them as obstacles, they see them as opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. In our society, we are often taught to fear failure, to avoid mistakes, and to strive for perfection. But this only creates anxiety, stress, and self-doubt. When you release the need for perfection, you free yourself from the pressure to always get it right. You give yourself permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. And that's when true progress happens. Progress isn't about reaching some ideal destination. It's about continually moving forward, continually growing, and continually evolving. Perfectionism stifles creativity and limits potential. When you're so focused on getting everything just right, you miss out on the opportunity to experiment, to try new things, and to explore different paths. When you embrace imperfection, you give yourself the freedom to innovate, to take risks, and to be creative in ways that perfectionism never could. The greatest inventions, the most innovative ideas, and the most transformative breakthroughs often come from mistakes, failures, and unexpected detours. When you let go of perfection, you make room for creativity to flow, for new possibilities to emerge, and for the kind of growth that wouldn't happen if everything were perfectly in place. The pursuit of perfection ultimately leads to stagnation. When you chase an unattainable ideal, you set yourself up for a constant cycle of dissatisfaction. You're never truly content with what you've accomplished because you're always striving for something that doesn't exist. But when you focus on progress, you create a sense of fulfillment in the journey itself. You begin to appreciate the small wins, the lessons learned, and the growth that happens along the way. Progress, rather than perfection, gives you a sense of accomplishment that's grounded in reality, not an illusion. So, stop chasing perfection. Let go of the need to be flawless. Embrace the mess, the mistakes, and the failures as part of the process. Focus on progress, not perfection. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. Perfection is a lie, but progress is real. And in the pursuit of progress, you'll find the growth, the fulfillment, and the success that you've been searching for all along. Everything in life is temporary. It's a difficult truth, one that we often ignore because it feels unsettling. But think about it for a moment. Everything you hold dear, everything that feels permanent is in fact fleeting. Your possessions, your status, even your relationships, these are all temporary. They come and go. And as much as we try to hold on, to secure these things in place, the reality is they are always in motion. The more you cling to them, the more vulnerable you become. It's like holding onto sand in your hand. No matter how tightly you grip, it will slip through your fingers. The more you try to control and preserve, the more you expose yourself to the inevitable pain of loss. True power doesn't come from holding tightly to these external things. It comes from accepting that they are impermanent. It comes from embracing the fact that nothing in life lasts forever. When you accept the impermanence of everything around you, you free yourself from the fear of losing it. This is where real strength lies. Epictetus understood this well. He said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." True freedom is not about accumulating things or status. It's about learning to let go, to detach from your attachments, and to accept the natural flow of life. When you let go of your attachment to the external, you begin to see the world in a new light. Instead of being constantly afraid of losing what you have, you begin to appreciate it for what it is while it lasts, knowing that it will eventually pass. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means that you recognize the transient nature of everything and choose to live in the moment. You stop worrying about what might be taken away from you because you understand that nothing is truly yours forever. This understanding creates a sense of inner peace. You stop seeking security in things, and instead, you find it within yourself. This principle is not about being indifferent to the world around you. It's not about abandoning relationships, possessions, or goals. It's about releasing your need for them. When you become attached to something, whether it's a person, a possession, or an outcome, you create an expectation. And expectations, especially in a world of constant change, often lead to disappointment. The more you become attached to the idea that something will last forever, the harder it becomes when it eventually fades away. But if you can learn to accept impermanence, to embrace the ebb and flow of life, you begin to see that everything, good and bad, is part of a greater process. This is why people who embrace impermanence are often seen as unshakable. They understand that life is in constant motion. They're not caught up in the need to preserve everything. They know that nothing in life is permanent, and by accepting that, they free themselves from fear and loss. They become untouchable because nothing can be taken from them. They are not defined by their possessions, their relationships, or their status. They are defined by their ability to adapt, to flow with the changes, and to find peace in the face of uncertainty. When you let go of attachment, you gain the freedom to experience life as it is. You stop trying to control outcomes, and instead, you learn to appreciate the moments for what they are, without the need to hold on to them forever. The possessions you own, the people you love, the goals you pursue, they are all beautiful, but they are also temporary. When you recognize this, you stop fearing their loss and start appreciating their presence. You no longer need to cling to them for your sense of self-worth. Instead, you can enjoy them for what they are and let them go when the time comes. The idea of impermanence can be unsettling, but it's also incredibly liberating. When you accept that everything is temporary, you stop being afraid of losing things. You stop measuring your happiness by what you have or don't have. Your peace is no longer tied to external circumstances. Instead, it comes from within. This is true freedom, the ability to live fully without clinging to anything, knowing that whatever comes your way will eventually pass. The sooner you embrace impermanence, the sooner you can truly start living. Imagine a life where you no longer worry about losing what you love, a life where you can appreciate every moment, knowing it is temporary, and because it's temporary, it becomes more precious. You start to value what you have in the present, rather than desperately trying to hold on to it. Instead of fearing the end of a chapter, you embrace it as part of the story. Life is not meant to be held tightly, it is meant to be lived fully. The more you let go, the more you can experience the richness of life as it unfolds. This shift in perspective doesn't mean you won't feel sadness when something ends, or when you lose something important to you. But it means you can face those moments with grace, knowing that it's a natural part of life. The key is not to resist the change, but to flow with it. Every loss, every change becomes an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to evolve into a deeper, more resilient version of yourself. When you accept impermanence, you no longer feel threatened by life's uncertainties. You embrace them. You stop seeking security in things and start finding it in yourself. You become more adaptable, more present, and more at peace. You learn to accept the ebb and flow of life, to understand that every beginning has an end, and that both are necessary for growth. By letting go of your attachment to what's temporary, you gain the strength to face whatever life throws at you with courage and clarity. Ultimately, true power lies in detachment. When you detach from the need for things to stay the same, from the desire to control outcomes, and from the fear of loss, you become untouchable. You no longer allow life's fluctuations to disturb your inner peace. You accept the impermanence of everything, your possessions, your relationships, your circumstances, and in doing so, you free yourself from the grip of attachment. Nothing can be taken from you because you no longer cling to anything. You live in the present, fully, knowing that everything is temporary, and that's exactly what makes it precious. In a world filled with constant noise, constant chatter, social media updates, people speaking over one another, it's easy to forget the power of silence. We live in a time where speaking up is encouraged, where sharing your opinion is seen as a right, and where the loudest voice often dominates. But what if I told you that silence, in a world so obsessed with noise, is actually your greatest weapon? Silence is not weakness. It's not the absence of sound. Silence commands respect. It forces people to listen, to pay attention, to wonder what you might say next. It makes others uneasy because they can't predict what you'll do. And in that unease, in that uncertainty, lies your power. There's an incredible strength in silence. It's a tool that many overlook, but when used intentionally, it can give you control over any situation. Think about the people you've met who don't need to speak much. They walk into a room and immediately the atmosphere shifts. They don't have to say a word for you to notice their presence. They carry themselves with an unspoken authority, a quiet confidence that demands respect. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Silence is a lesson learned in the quietest of hours." In silence, you can observe, you can reflect, and you can understand. And that understanding, what you gather when you choose not to speak, gives you a unique edge over those who talk endlessly but rarely say anything of substance. We've all been in conversations where someone dominates the dialogue, filling the space with words but offering nothing meaningful. And then there are those rare people who speak less, but when they do, their words carry weight. Every sentence feels intentional, as though they've thought deeply before saying anything. This is the power of silence. It's not about being silent just for the sake of it, not about retreating into a corner and avoiding interaction. It's about controlling what you say and when you say it. When you speak, make it count. Let every word have purpose. Let it carry meaning. Silence, in this way, becomes a tool for sharpening your thoughts, for choosing clarity over confusion, and for speaking with intention. There's something inherently powerful about withholding words. When you don't speak immediately, when you don't rush to fill every silence with noise, people begin to notice. Silence allows you to gather your thoughts, to reflect on the situation before you react. In doing so, you gain clarity that others might miss. While others are speaking over one another, trying to assert their dominance through their words, you stand apart. You listen, you observe, and that gives you an advantage. You understand what's going on beneath the surface, in the unsaid spaces. It's in these moments that silence becomes not just a passive act, but an active strategy. When you control your speech, you control the conversation. There's a rare power in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. The mistake many people make is speaking too much, filling every gap, every pause, with unnecessary words. But silence is a language of its own. It communicates strength, it communicates thoughtfulness, and it communicates control. When you speak, make it intentional. When you hold back, let your presence do the talking. There's a weight to silence that words can't match. It invites people to lean in, to pay attention, to wonder what you're thinking. And in that curiosity, you wield power. Silence also reveals your true character. It's easy to hide behind words, to use them as a shield, to make noise when you're unsure of yourself. But silence challenges you to be comfortable with who you are, to be confident without needing constant validation from others. It takes courage to remain silent when you could speak, to resist the urge to fill the space just because it feels uncomfortable. But in doing so, you gain mastery over yourself. You stop seeking approval from others, and you begin to rely on your own sense of self-assurance. Your silence becomes a reflection of your inner peace, your control, and your clarity. It's a quiet strength that doesn't need to shout for attention. In a world that thrives on instant communication, silence allows you to break free from the noise. It gives you the ability to think, to reflect, and to make decisions from a place of calm rather than impulsiveness. The more you practice silence, the more you begin to understand the power that lies in stillness. You stop reacting to every situation and start responding from a place of intentionality and self-mastery. You begin to see that the loudest voices in the room are often the least effective. Those who speak constantly are rarely the ones who make the most impact. The ones who speak with purpose, who understand the weight of their words, are the ones who leave a lasting impression. Silence also has the power to disrupt the noise around you. In a conversation, when everyone is talking over each other, your silence can become a moment of pause. It can force others to listen, to stop and reflect, to reassess what's been said. Silence creates space for deeper understanding. It gives people a chance to process, to think, and to truly hear what's being communicated. When you allow moments of silence in your life and in your interactions, you create room for clarity. You create space for true communication to happen beyond the surface-level chatter. This is the essence of being unshakable. You don't need to fill every silence, every moment with noise. You don't need to prove yourself with your words. Your power lies in your ability to choose when to speak and when to remain silent. In silence, you become more than just another voice. You become the presence that commands attention, that makes others pause and listen, that speaks volumes without saying a word. Your silence becomes a statement of strength, a testament to your self-assurance, and a reflection of your inner peace. So, the next time you find yourself in a conversation or a situation where words are flying fast and furious, remember the power of silence. Use it not to withdraw, but to assert your presence. Let your silence communicate confidence, clarity, and control. And when you do choose to speak, make it count. Speak with intention, knowing that your words hold weight because they come from a place of thoughtfulness and purpose. In a world full of noise, silence is your greatest weapon. It commands respect, it sparks curiosity, and it allows you to stand firm, unshaken, and unyielding. The world will give you suffering, whether you ask for it or not. It's not something you can avoid or plan around. Suffering is a part of life, a force that shows up unexpectedly, without permission, and often at the most inconvenient times. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a career setback, a personal failure, or the constant challenges of everyday life, pain will find its way to you. But here's the thing, how you respond to that suffering is what truly matters. The choice is in your hands. You can let suffering defeat you, let it drain your energy and hope, or you can use it to fuel your growth, to forge a stronger version of yourself. It's not the suffering that defines you, it's how you choose to face it. Suffering doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care who you are or what you've achieved. It's universal. And while we can't control the pain we're given, we can control what we do with it. Every painful moment is an opportunity to become stronger, sharper, more resilient. Think of the most painful experiences in your life. It wasn't just the pain that defined you. It was the way you rose above it, the way you kept moving forward, even when it seemed impossible. You see, the true test of your strength isn't in avoiding suffering, but in how you navigate through it, how you choose to grow from it. You are not the sum of your suffering. You are the man who emerged from it. This is the essence of strength through suffering. The suffering you face doesn't have to be a death sentence. It doesn't have to define you negatively or keep you trapped in a cycle of despair. Instead, it can be the catalyst that propels you into something greater. Every hardship, every moment of pain, is a chance to redefine yourself, to emerge stronger than before. But only if you choose to embrace it and let it shape you. The most powerful people I know are not the ones who've lived easy lives, free from pain or struggle. No, the truly powerful are the ones who've faced the worst of it and come out the other side. They've learned to turn their suffering into strength. They've learned that every difficulty, every challenge is a stepping stone toward becoming the person they were meant to be. It's easy to look at others who seem to have it all together and assume that their strength came from an easy life. But strength isn't born from comfort. It's born from the fire of adversity. When you face hardship, you have two choices. You can allow it to break you, or you can use it to build yourself. It's crucial to understand that suffering doesn't define your worth. What it does is reveal your potential. Pain exposes your vulnerabilities, your fears, and your weaknesses, but it also gives you the opportunity to confront them, to challenge them, and to transcend them. Each moment of pain is an opportunity to learn about yourself, to discover your true strength, and to build resilience. Every time you face suffering head-on, you build your emotional and mental muscles. You grow in ways that would be impossible if everything were easy. The best version of yourself is often forged in the fires of your hardest trials. The strength you build through suffering is not about becoming numb to pain or pretending it doesn't affect you. It's about learning to face pain with courage, learning to use it as fuel, and learning to grow from it. This kind of strength isn't about avoiding pain. It's about accepting it as a part of life and using it to propel you forward. When you can face the most difficult moments with grace, when you can turn your suffering into a source of power, you become unstoppable. You stop being defined by your circumstances and start becoming the person you are meant to be. Resilience is the key. Resilience isn't about never feeling pain. It's about your ability to bounce back, to get up every time life knocks you down, and to keep going, no matter how many times you fall. The most resilient people aren't the ones who've never been hurt. They're the ones who've been hurt, who've faced the darkness, and who've come out the other side stronger. Resilience is the result of facing suffering, of allowing it to break you down, and then using that breakdown to rebuild yourself into something better, something stronger. The road to strength is not a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, setbacks, and detours. But each challenge you face is a part of the journey. It's easy to look at someone who has overcome great struggles and think that they were just lucky or that they were born strong. But strength isn't something that comes naturally. It's something you build through your experiences, your struggles, and your determination to keep going. Every time you face adversity and choose not to let it defeat you, you build a deeper well of strength to draw from in the future. There's power in accepting that suffering is part of the deal. When you can let go of the expectation that life should be easy, when you can stop fighting against the difficulties that come your way, you free yourself. You free yourself from the victim mindset, from the belief that you are powerless in the face of pain. When you accept that suffering is inevitable, you begin to see it for what it really is, a tool for growth. It becomes something you can use to fuel your development, to shape you into a more resilient and powerful person. It's not about avoiding suffering, it's about learning to use it. The more you face pain with the mindset that it is an opportunity to grow, the stronger you will become. Every moment of hardship, every setback, every failure is a chance to refine yourself, to learn, and to improve. So the next time you face a difficult moment, remember that it's not there to break you. It's there to build you. Embrace it, use it, and let it make you stronger. The power is in your response. The strength you develop through suffering will carry you through life's hardest moments and help you emerge on the other side unbroken and even stronger than before. Suffering is not a punishment. It's a part of the process of becoming who you were always meant to be. So, take the pain, learn from it, and use it to forge a version of yourself that is unshakable, resilient, and unstoppable. The fire will come. It always does. Whether it's a personal setback, a failure, or a loss, life will throw obstacles your way that feel like they're burning everything you've worked for. At first it feels like destruction. Everything you've built, all the illusions you've held close, go up in flames. You might feel like you're losing everything. But what if I told you that this fire, as painful as it is exactly what you need to become who you're meant to be? What if I told you that from the ashes of destruction, something new can emerge, stronger, sharper, and more resilient than ever before? This fire isn't here to destroy you. It's here to rebirth you. You see, you can't avoid the hardships of life. No matter how much you try to protect yourself, no matter how many walls you build, life will still come with its challenges. There's no escaping the inevitable. We all face moments that feel like everything is falling apart. But in those moments, you have a choice. You can let the fire consume you, or you can let it shape you. You can choose to rise from the ashes as someone who's learned from the experience. Someone who's stronger, more resilient, and more focused on what truly matters. When the fire comes, it strips away everything you thought you knew. It forces you to confront the truth about yourself and about life. What's left after the smoke clears? Will you stand there, weak and broken, or will you rise up, transformed, ready to face the world with newfound strength? This is the essence of reinvention. It's not about avoiding pain or hardship. It's about embracing the lessons that come with those challenges. Each time you face hardship, you are given the opportunity to grow. Each time you experience loss, failure, or disappointment, you are given the chance to reinvent yourself, stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing whatever comes next. The fire doesn't care about your plans, your comfort, or your expectations. It doesn't ask for permission, but how you choose to respond is everything. If you resist it, if you fight against the pain and try to avoid the lessons it brings, then you stay stuck. You keep clinging to what was, even though it's already gone. But if you face the fire head-on, if you let it burn away the parts of you that no longer serve you, then you become someone new. You shed your old skin and rise like steel from the flames, tougher and more unyielding than before. It's in the fire that your true strength is forged. But let's be clear, this transformation doesn't happen automatically. It's not an easy process. It takes courage to walk through the fire and to let it burn away the parts of you that are no longer useful. It's painful. You'll feel vulnerable. You'll question yourself. But it's only by walking through the fire, by enduring the heat and the pressure, that you'll emerge as the person you're meant to be. When you come out on the other side, you'll find that the things that once held you back, fear, insecurity, doubt, don't have the same power over you anymore. The fire may have burned, but it has also refined you. It's made you stronger, sharper, and more capable of handling whatever challenges life throws your way. This is where true growth happens. It's not in the easy moments, not in the times when everything is smooth sailing. Growth happens when you're pushed to your limits, when you're forced to face your deepest fears and your most painful truths. It's in those moments of hardship that you learn the most about who you are, what you're made of, and what you're truly capable of. If you've ever gone through something difficult and come out on the other side, you know what I mean. You may have thought you couldn't survive it. You may have thought that the pain would destroy you, but instead, it made you stronger. It made you someone who can handle more, who can endure more, and who can rise above anything life throws at you. Think about the moments when you faced challenges that felt insurmountable. How did you respond? Did you let them break you, or did you choose to rise? The choice was always yours. It's easy to let the hard times define you in a negative way, to let them convince you that you're not enough, that you'll never make it through. But it's in those moments that you have the power to choose. You can choose to be broken, or you can choose to be transformed. And let me tell you, choosing to rise, choosing to grow from the pain, will always serve you more than staying stuck in despair. Reinvention through the fire is about shedding your old self. It's about realizing that you are not defined by your circumstances, your failures, or your past mistakes. You are defined by how you respond to those things, how you choose to move forward. The fire doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you are. It exposes your strength, your resilience, and your ability to overcome anything that stands in your way. So when the fire comes, don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Walk straight into it, knowing that it's exactly what you need to become the person you were always meant to be. There's power in transformation. There's power in embracing the struggle, in accepting that the hard times are just part of the process. Every time you face adversity, you're given the chance to reinvent yourself. And every time you rise above that adversity, you become someone more capable, more powerful, and more unshakable than before. The fire may burn, but it also refines. It shapes you into something stronger, something that can withstand any challenge, any setback, any hardship. So remember this, the fire will come, but it's not here to destroy you. It's here to make you. How you respond to it is what matters. You can choose to let it break you, or you can choose to rise from the flames, stronger and more resilient than ever before. The choice is always yours. And when you rise, you'll discover a strength within you that you never knew existed. You'll be reborn from the fire, ready to take on whatever comes next, with unyielding power and unwavering confidence. Remember, the fire will come, but it's not the fire that defines you, it's how you choose to rise from it. So step into the flames, embrace the struggle, and allow it to forge you into someone unbreakable. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal. If you found strength in today's message, make sure to watch the next video on the screen. Until next time, stay strong, stay resilient, and keep evolving.